so that we'll have documentation. If we can, I'll just start off and then we'll go around the room and just introduce ourselves. Our chairperson is not here today, Lucas Strahan, and he was called out. I think they were crossing the transmission line. He is now with Phoenix Fiber, and he is no longer with Hyper Networks, so he has taken a new position. But he very much wants to stay involved and chair this UCC, so he hopes that he will be back next month. So with that, I am Ann Rushing, North Carolina 811, and I am actually filling in for Parrish Reddick, your liaison today.
Robert McDougal, Town Carey, ITS Expediter.
Justice Everett, ABE Utilities.
Hey, good morning. I'm Linda Fisk. I'm with Duke Energy and Resource Management with the Training Board Zone.
Okay, nice to have you.
Thank you.
Scotty Jordan, Dominion Energy. Freeze, Dominion Energy. Craig Scalise, Dominion Energy. Dan Barrett, Duke Energy.
Tiffany White, Dominion Energy. Sandy Johnson, Dominion Energy. Karen Burnett, right on Reed.
Kevin Mathias, Dominion Energy.
All right. Well, it is a small group, but I'm sure that we can have plenty to talk about as usual. So I'm going to go ahead and just kick off our presentation this morning. Sorry, let me move my screen up here. Everybody online, can you see our presentation?
Yes, we can. 10-4.
Perfect. All right. I know it just seems like just a week or so ago, we were here for the state UCC, so it may be repetitive information, but just bear with me. We'll get through it pretty quick. And we'll discuss any projects, anything you have coming up, or any needs or issues that you may have. So recently, we partnered with many one-call centers and other stakeholders to do a full takeover of the NASCAR Xfinity Series race over in Phoenix, and that was hosted on March the 9th. It was called 811.com, every dig, every time 200. So this is the third year that we've partnered. And instead of it being in Martinsville this year, it was actually out in Phoenix, and then we'll be again at the end of the season for the championship race out in Phoenix as well. So we're excited about that. Call811.com is the national website. So anyone in the country, if they go to that website, they can be directed specifically to that state's one-call center. And so there was a lot of traffic from that, and we're still waiting to get the final numbers, but they're up in the millions of impressions that was received during that race. It was a huge presence on the track, off the track, in the fan zone. So it was just a great event just to be able to share the 811 message. We do sponsor Josh Williams, who is with Colleague Racing. And his car was in the fan zone doing, autographs. So we're certainly sponsoring him for the full year, and you'll see him out at all the races as well, Colleague Racing. So I would encourage you to go out to our Facebook page, Safe Digging Sports, join that page, and you'll see all of the sports across North Carolina. We have other one-call centers that are partnering with us on that too as well. So I would encourage you to follow us and see all the wonderful events that we are going to be at. So with that, I do have a banner with us today, as you notice here on the right. One of our hardworking men here is the face of our banner and our billboards. I do have a banner with us today. I would love to get a photo of all of us before we leave today. And why is that? Because in a couple days, April is Safe Digging Month. So it's just right around the corner. And I do have a couple banners here with me if you would like one. There is a QR code on the banner that when you take it, scan that, it will take you to a form. so that we can document the locations of where all these banners are. We do have a map out on our website that documents banners, elevated water tanks, billboards, wherever they are around the state, we do recognize those locations. So I would encourage you, if you need one, please take it, preferably in a very high visibility area that you need to post those. So if you will, I'll get that for you at the end of the meeting. We do have the other banner too as well. So we're doing kind of a split this year, kind of focusing on the homeowner and of course, you know, our contractor stakeholders. We have been promoting this now since February. Next month, I will have a slide for that contest that you can just QR code it, take a picture of it, and it'll take you directly there where you can dig. And hopefully you can dig safely, and then you have the chance to win $300. There are virtual holes that you'll be digging, and with that, it'll run through the end of April, and then from the contest, we will do the giveaway. We will present you with a $300 check for participating, and hopefully in the midst of that, a lot of folks are educated. So once again, you can see here, the link is on our website, Dare to Dig. It is under our education section as well. So we've got it on social media, on our website. And of course, if you need that link, let me know and I'll certainly send it over to you. Moving on to our state joint conference. That is coming up, and that will be hosted April the 30th through May the 3rd. It's down in Charleston, South Carolina. State UCC is sponsoring the event this year. And then next year, we'll be back here in North Carolina. As you see here, it is in Charleston. If you have not signed up or, blocked your room, please do so. Those rooms are filling up. I have not received communication that they are full. So as far as I know right now, it is still, there's still vacancy. The attendee registration is $250. If you want to bring your significant other, that fee is $150. So we look forward to having you all down there. North Carolina 811 is certainly going to be a vendor, and we look forward just to networking. There will be free locator training as well. So as you're registering, make sure if you're wanting to participate in that, go ahead and get your registration in today. The link is on our website as well. It will take you directly to South Carolina 811's website, and they are hosting that registration for the state UCC for South Carolina. But if you have any questions, any issues getting on, please let me know and I'll direct you where you need to go. As far as important dates, we did meet back on March 12th here at Dominion for the state UCC. A lot of updates there. We talked about, the LRPC. We talked about the Underground Review Board. But just for some dates, tomorrow is the LRPC meeting. It will be hosted over at our event center in Greensboro. This is not the normal meeting date. It's typically the third Wednesday of every other month. But just due to conferences, the SGA, there was the global excavation last week, we did bump it down to March the 27th. So Dan's in the room. Dan, do you want to say anything before we move on, or?
No, just it's tomorrow. I'd love to see, some more folks come out or join us online there. If you didn't get the invite or would like it, and can get some of this today.
Please do. Thank you, Dan. And we look forward, as Dan said, if you can't join us, please hop on. I mean, there's a lot of data that we're going to take a look at. And of course, Lewis will share a lot of updates as well. Our board meeting coming up is April 19th for North Carolina 811. As you see here, contact Stephanie Brown. We will be changing that over to Virginia. So next month we'll have that updated. Virginia in our office kind of handles all of those invites and books all of our resorts and so on and so forth. So, but it will be hosted at Chatola. We look forward to having you out if you can. That will be on Friday, April 19th. starting at 8 a.m. We'll be flying back in from the CGA conference that is hosted that week. So it's going to be a busy week for Safe Digging Month. So if you can come out, we look forward to sharing that information. And then our next Underground Damage Prevention Review Board is April 23rd. That date has been shifted a little bit as well, but we would encourage you, if you want to, see how that process works, please come out. I think right now we have about 26 cases, give or take. So we'll be reviewing those cases, and we'll look forward to having you out as well. Just a reminder, there are multiple places to find our calendar to join in on any of our meetings, off the website, off of the app. If you have not downloaded your app, please do. And you can certainly put in some single address tickets through the app. To dive right into our locate request for February, and of course, we're almost at the end of March. So, it's definitely picking up for sure, as it has been for the past couple years. We already are looking at an 8% increase in February compared to the same time last year. So there's tons of projects out there, namely a lot of fiber projects, but of course there's a lot of infrastructure replacement, pole replacements. I know that many different contractors are doing a lot of work around the state of North Carolina. As you see here, our totals landed at 226,572, 8% increase. So what does that boil down to? We still continue to focus on those updates. For February, there was a actual, 30.44% of the volume was from updates. So tomorrow, as we meet with the Locate Resolution Partnership, it seems each time we have a meeting, we're kind of adding a new stakeholder that I'm providing update tickets to. I'm working with Ripple Fiber to kind of provide a lot of their updates, and they've got multiple contractors working for them, but they really want to help focus on those as well. So we look forward to working with them, as well as we do provide data to Dan for utility lines construction, for ANSCO, for AT&T. So if you want to be on that list and want to see your updates, certainly let me know and we'll try to provide those to you. Year to date, we are at 8.2% increase. To date, we are already at 453,175 tickets. I do remind you, a lot of times, if you'll just multiply that, times even $20, you can see the absorbent amount of money that's being spent just on tickets. But when you really break it down, it's those transmissions. 6.2% increase compared to the same time last year. Already ticket volume or transmissions for month to date was 1,229,000. So we're still on average about 5.3 locates per ticket. And then when you look at our volume for year to date, we're at 7.5% on the transmission. So already seeing 2.4, almost 2.5 million just up through February. So lots of transmissions that are coming in and out of NC 811 to our members. And so please manage your projects. That's the best advice we can provide to you, is manage your projects. So when we break it down for Wake and we begin to look at where that ticket volume is coming from, you'll notice that the actual new tickets decreased in February, but as you see, the 3 hours are still running fairly high at 35.9%. And then our updates at just slightly over 3.2%. So 3 hours, what does that mean? Obviously, we all know if the 3 working days, there's not been a response provided, which is locate status, then a 3 hours requested. We can't express enough of how important it is to come to these meetings. Let's network. Let's, try to, not provide those 3 hour tickets. Hopefully the volume can stay steady, where, you know, more locators are coming in through USIC. I know at the state UCC, Robert gave an update of how many locators were just in this area. So it's more than doubled over the last years, and still you can see it's difficult to keep up with the volume. So it's all about managing your project. Please don't update the ticket if you're not actively working. We encourage you, once again, let that ticket run its course, let it lie in the system, and then within that 90 days, if you're gonna start the work back, you're more than welcome, go back in. As long as the work is not changing, then you can update that ticket. So just let the ticket expire for the 15 working days, and then leave it lying and come back in and update it if you need to come back at a different time. Year to date, where are we at? Whew. 56,492 tickets already in the system, just in Wake. We are up 3.5%, and if you average it out, we are at 1,378 tickets. I remember at a time to where that was like peak volume in the middle of dig season, and here we are, you know, hitting this sort of volume in February. When we break it down to see where all of those numbers are coming from, certainly you can see the bulk of the 27,000 tickets are coming from Raleigh, 12,265, Wake Forest, 1816, Wendell, 1452, Garner, 1707, Apex, Cary, 2483 for Cary. So you can see the list. It's pretty comprehensive. Work is going on everywhere in this county for the most part. So we would encourage you, please, if there's people that need to be attending these meetings, please get the word out. So where are these top 10 callers coming from, and where are they, or who are they working for? We've been providing you this for quite some time, just so you can see who is providing the most locates within these counties. And of course, ITS Court's on the call with us today. You know, they work for multiple members, Dominion, Google, Apex Power, Town of Wake Forest. So that's just a few that ITS tickets are made up of. Prince Telecom, they're a Google contractor. AT&T Utility, that is the AT&T, that is their own operations, doing buried drops. RG Communications, working for Charter. Pike, of course, they're working for Duke. Moztec, they provide work for both Dominion and Duke. RH Underground, 710 there, you can see they're another Google contractor. Ansco doing work for AT&T. Southeast Connections doing work for Dominion here in Wake, and then All Signal Solution doing work for both Google and Spectrum. I know you guys are probably all working directly with these folks. I would encourage you to ask them to attend some of our meetings. It would be great to have them. I know Southeast has been here in the past. So when we jump into our damages, as you see here, I did highlight Wake, just so, MEC, so that you can see that you're slightly under what was reported for MEC, which we know everything's underreported. Total damages for the state in February were 1,117. Wake with 152, Mecklenburg with 160. Of course, we do focus on these top 10 with a lot of education, marketing, anything to get that message out around the state.
And I'll make sure Mecklenburg knows we beat them again this month.
I know. You will let them know tomorrow, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Well, here is just a snapshot of looking at damages compared to last year. You see that they were increased in January, and you see they're already increased in February. Last February, 830. February of this year, 1,117. So I'll share some of the damages once I finish up the presentation. We continue to focus on the damages per 1,000 transmissions, and you can see to the left here the legend based on green, yellow, or red. doesn't necessarily mean the red is bad. It's just based on the transmissions versus the volume. So you can see if you're a county that's in the red or the green or the yellow, certainly we're happy to chat with you a little bit after, but just wanted to share where those numbers are coming from, damages per 1,000. And you can see over in Wake right now, we are in what I call the caution zone. So not the best, but not the worst.
And Ann, the way this is distributed, the way this distribution works is we look at the high and the low in terms of the high. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. We look at the highest percentage by ticket volume of damages and the lowest quartile, really it's the third, lands into the green. If it's in the highest group in terms of a percentage, doesn't matter about the volume of tickets, as you mentioned, it's more the numbers of damages in relationship to the number of tickets or transmissions in this case. So if it's yellow, it just means that you're in the average center, more or less, of damages per 1,000 transmissions. These are all relative to each other in terms of the counties, in terms of damages per 1,000. So if you're in a red, it means that you're experiencing not much higher. You're in the top third of the damages per 1,000 in terms of a ratio out of all the counties.
Thank you, Lois. And as he said, I do have those numbers, so we're happy to share, those damages versus ticket ratios, and I can certainly send those to you if you're interested. Just a reminder, we will have a copy of this presentation out on the website for the NCUCC. I also want to remind you all that we have created a Facebook page for the NCUCC, and certainly go out, like it. We do share where all the meetings are around the state, and we'd like you to kind of get involved with us on that. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing this, and I am going to share a spreadsheet with our damages, so you can kind of see a little bit more, a little deeper dive into what we have. Can you guys see that okay online?
Yes.
All right. So as you see here, we mentioned in Wake here that we had 152 damages. I sorted it so that you could see that of those 152, the bulk of those damages, 38 of them were coming from the telecommunication side. And as you follow this spreadsheet and the how we've set up the pivot table, we can take the dirt data and we can kind of drill down into it. So just to kind of give you an idea, just this top one here, telecommunication, they were doing telecommunication work, and they hit a cable TV line, and how they did that was with a backhoe or track hoe. So you can see kind of how we've got it, we've basically done it by the county, the work performed, the facility damaged, the excavation type, and then the facility affected. So we can drill it down as low as you want to go, but you see here, of those damages, 38 of them were caused by telecommunication work. Also, there were 8 that were electric. That was caused by track hoe, backhoe, and then you can see boring is still there. Boring and directional drilling, one and the same, pretty much in that group. And then you can see hand tools. So as we begin to kind of, dig down in there, we can see a pattern of, it is basically telco hitting themselves. So sorry, I'm going to drill down a little bit further.
Can you, scroll down a little bit further? Thanks.
So there's, Louis, did you want to elaborate on the electric or any of that, or?
Well, no, but you're doing a great job. This is
Okay.
exactly what we want to explain. And again, we're tracing this down from, these are reported damages to us. So these are the ones we know about that come in through DIRT. And being able to pivot table sort these, it shows you what type of work was taking place. That's the first bold that you see, the electric on the far left, and she was showing telecom before. And then you're showing the affected facility, what was damaged, and the type of equipment essentially that was used during the course of that damage. So there's all different ways to slice and dice the data to look at, if you wanted to focus in on the type of excavator, the type of work being done, if you wanted to know more about the locations, if you wanted to know if there was a one-call ticket associated, and in the majority of the damages we know about, we were notified, just so everybody's aware. I mean, if you were to do that, it comes in at like 95 or something % of those. And it makes sense because if you think about it, this data is coming to us from an excavator that reported it to us. Chances are, if they knew to report it to us, they also knew to call in a ticket. So it makes sense that you would see a majority of these being called in tickets. But yeah, it's very fascinating to see. So the natural gas work being done at 22 damages, and if you take cable TV and blend it with the telecommunications, which is really the best way to do it, you really get a much better picture of the fiber and that's being cut. It's about 18 of those 22 damages occurred to either cable TV or telecom. The vast majority.
Yeah, as Louis mentioned, they were, the work performed was natural gas, and the facility damaged, like you said, telco, and you can see here there's a lot of service drops that are being hit, and then a lot of it's being done with both backhoe, trackhoe, and hand tools. So as we are looking at April Safe Digging Month, I know today we are actually out at Ace Hardware up in Asheville. And when we do a lot of education, we ask people, do you know how to use a shovel? Because there's a lot of people that truly don't know how to use a shovel. So we do share that in our excavation guide. We do demonstrations, and so we look forward just to educating people. And certainly, if you would like us to come out, do some training, we are more than happy. I know Trevor Green here with Dominion, he does a lot of training of sort just like that out on site with some of the contractors, just for this perfect example of reducing damages. So
yeah, the important part is to put your hands on the long pole part and then use the flat part to actually go into the ground. No, seriously, no, the correct way is to use a shovel. It is something that we even demonstrate in the manual that we have, as far as how to approach a facility when you see the marks, to come at it so you're not cutting down perpendicular to it. But when you said that, it made me chuckle.
I spent a good afternoon with about 260 guys, and it was really interesting to see the young guys that have come in, and these 18-year-old kids that are just learning, getting their feet wet and learning how to use all the tools. So, Court, I think you had your hand up, or?
Yes, I did. I wanted to add, you're talking about shovels, well, we had 152 damages, but we really don't know how many of them were marked correctly or incorrectly, but there's still the damages. But then also, I want to point out one thing, all the damages you look using hand tools, these are people trying to do the right thing, looking, spotting, digging for the utilities on the majority of that. And there is a correct and a way to use a shovel. But I just wanted to point that out. There's a lot of people trying to do the right thing, still creating damages.
That's a good point. Very good point, Court.
Yes, absolutely. So with that, does anybody have any questions on any of the presentation or damages? Happy to share any of that information with you. So
Yeah.
with that,
If I could chime in real quick, though, we're looking at what's going on in March. I know this is one of those things where we're always a month behind in this meeting, so it's helpful to hear a little bit more about where we are this year, and we're definitely continuing to rise month over month. But what's interesting is even with our percentage of electronic tickets, just looking at calls, at the number of calls. I mean, we took 2,000 more calls last year than we did this year than we did last year. And just in the month of March, okay? Um, when we do that, it's obviously it takes more time. Most of the people that are calling in are people who don't know about the apps or aren't using the apps. So as we get to this period of the year, with all this education on homeowners, et cetera, letting them know, there are people calling us that really aren't familiar with the process. So we have to spend more time with them. Consequently, we end up, our productivity kind of goes down. We have more people on the phone for a longer period of time with each caller, which can stretch out abandon rates on the calls. It can also slow down the average speed of answer. So I guess what I'm saying is, as we approach this time of year, if you're using the phone, please exercise patience. Because all of our agents are there working. The other thing that's interesting is in after hours emergencies, I'm looking at the number of calls that occurred just in the month of March. In this time last year in the month of March, just from the same time period, the 1st to the 25th, we had 418 after hour emergencies that were called in. This year, same period of time, 519. So that's an extra 100 emergency calls. It's indicative as you look at the percentages of 3-hour notices and things like that, and the situations of what's kind of going on in the field. I mean, that's a pretty significant jump. I mean, it's over 20%. If you look at it that way, in terms of the jump in number of after hours emergencies that are being called in. So we're very conscious of the numbers and where we are with these kinds of things and with the damages that are being reported. It's a constant effort. The other things I just wanted to throw out on the tail of the presentation where we are with NC 811, we are actively preparing to work on the law. We have a team assembled. We have a sponsor, 2 of them actually, in the legislature. We are now scheduled to meet on the 11th in Raleigh, and that'll be our kickoff meeting. Justice is there. He's part of this team. Keith, I believe you're part of this team as well from the DOT's perspective. We are looking to consolidate all the different concerns and issues that we have, and look at what we can do to achieve consensus around legislation that's going to work for everybody. Everybody may not be thrilled with it at the end, but we have to do something to address the amount of volume that we have, the amount of delays that we experience, those update tickets, a lot of which can be considered waste in some cases, but fully understanding why it is that they occur. So we have to put some checks and balances in and around the law to try to do what we can, because this is going to be unmanageable. If you're an excavator and you have an expectation to get your job done, and and it's a coin flip that you're going to get all of your members to mark on time. That is not instilling confidence out in the field. And for sure, with the 3-hour notices, for example, absolutely we see 50% or more of those are not getting responded to on time either. So I'm not saying the system is broken, but it's severely strained. And we're trying to figure out now how to rescue that, give it some CPR. And it's really the responsibility of everybody. Owners have a responsibility to control their contracts with the people that are working for them to make sure that they're, doing the right things, and their locators, et cetera. I mean, a lot of that comes from there. And excavators have a responsibility as well to manage their work and their process and everything as effectively and efficiently. Don't overburden the system. Call in what you need for when you need it, and only when you need it. So anyway, we're going to work through this, and it's going to be it's kind of a heavy lift, but we're going to work it out. We're going to lift it. Justice, anything you want to add to that?
No, it's just excited to try to make some forward progress.
Amen. As a football player, ex-football player, you know, we got to move the ball, right? The goal is to get the ball moving forward.
Just want to move it forward. We don't want to go backwards.
Well, with you on the defense, I'm sure everybody was moving backwards. But I'm saying from an offensive standpoint, we got to move the ball.
Absolutely. All right. Well, with that, we'll go ahead and just we'll go around the room, and then you folks that are online, I'll give you an opportunity. All right. I'm going to let you go ahead and kick it off and tell us a little bit about you. We got a newbie here today with Carrie.
Robert McDougall, like I said earlier, my background, about 25 years in traffic signals, started off as a contractor. The last 17 years working with the signal department for Cary. Probably at the beginning of the year, took on the responsibility of helping out the line locating department for Cary. So I'm just out trying to figure out what we need, make sure we're getting it, whether it's equipment, education, and trying to minimize our damage, our footprint, and just be successful out in the field.
All right. Justice Everett, Robert, I'm also the excavator representative on the NCA 11 board. So, two things I want to comment on. The Common Ground Alliance published the 3 most critical challenges for safe digging. Number 1, the facility's not marked. Number 2, the facility's marked inaccurately. Number 3, inaccurate and outdated facility maps. So these are global issues throughout the country, and they're also very applicable to the stress we're seeing in our system. Absolutely. Here in North Carolina, particularly in Wake County. So as a third-party excavator, if it's marked, we got a chance to find it. And that's why the locating part of it is so critical to the safe digging aspect. Second thing I wanted to mention was 2023 from the North Carolina Department of Labor perspective, there were no trench fatalities in the state of North Carolina in 2003. So everybody's to be complimented on that with your own crews, with your subcontractor crews. We all want to go home at night. We all want to have the same number of fingers and toes, eyes and nose that we came to work with in the morning. So that's a kudos to the excavation industry, and we've just got to be vigilant in safe excavation practices.
Linda Fisk, and I work with Daniel with Duke Energy, and I'm local to the area, and resource management with Duke, and we've got a large footprint in the Wake County area and in other counties in North Carolina, but I work a lot in the Wake County area, and with the contractors, and you mentioned Pike, and as well as MySafe, we work with those different vendors. And they will bring issues to us to help them work out, you know, in the field. And recently there's a huge volume of locates that, you know, that they are needing, and there've been some delays. They are saying that they wait for 3 days and for the positive response, and they don't hear anything. So they, you know, wait the additional, I think, 15 days.
3 hours. Do a 3
Yeah,
hour.
do 3 hours for the positive response, right? But they are just saying that they're having, I guess, an uptick in the delays for not only them, but their subs they're boring contractors. So they've asked to get some more, and I know the volume is huge and it's increasing. I know they have locators that have been brought into the area. And so I know that everybody's kind of doing everything they can to make improvements. But I did want to just come get information so that I could carry it back to Duke, because we had some issues as well in-house with our Duke crews. And then also provide that information back to Pike, because I meet with them daily and weekly. So I just wanted to meet everyone and see, if I could, help in any way or anything we can do to, improve the situation as far as training and that kind of thing. But also just to be able to take this information back to those that maybe can't to me.
Dan, are you guys kind of working together? I mean, do I need to send additional reports to Linda or
I mean, yeah,
for our updates?
yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Are you going to attend the LRPC tomorrow or
I'm not going to be doing that tomorrow.
online?
Today's my first meeting, so I wasn't sure how.
Okay, so you're fresh and great.
Yeah, I'm not sure how all this works and what the additional meetings were, but,
Yeah.
But I can attend.
We'll certainly get offline with you after and just kind of give you a little bit of history and kind of get your feet wet.
Okay.
Sound good? Super.
I'm good.
You good? Nothing going on?
I have a good speech like that.
Oh, okay. All right, Bobby.
Same here, everything.
Any major projects or anything worth mentioning? I mean, I know,
Project. Nothing out of over there. What is ERT, just doing heat, coming down Neighbor Avenue, bus lane to put in. So that now.
all right. So nothing major for Dominion? Nothing, okay. All right, Dan?
But as far as damage wise, looks like we had about 25 for last month that were to the system, not that we caused, we'll cause them damage. So other than that, I don't know anything in particular.
Tiffany?
I don't have anything at this time. I just started to report that, I'm on the, North Carolina UCC group, and right now, we're looking at different locations for the 2025 conference. And, it's, we're looking toward Wilmington, Scottsville Beach, and we even got a proposal from Charlotte, was it the Marriott and?
Embassy.
Yes.
Embassy Suite.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
So that's where we're trying to have a selection made before we get it to South Carolina. Maybe we can report down there as to what we've chosen. But it's real, it's hard when you call some of these resorts and hotels and they don't call you back. And we're trying to meet and get it all together, but hopefully we'll have something that will accomplish.
Super. Thank you, Sandra.
Karen Burnett again with Body Long Ready, just coming out to all the meetings to see what's going on across the state. We work for one, we can assist anybody. We've done some work for Dominion over in Iredell County and Gaston County. We just finished up recently, doing some stuff for energy and things like that.
Are you attending any of the UCC meetings over that way? I know there's one in Iredell.
Yeah.
And then, of
And
course,
he's actually got me traveling across the state
gotcha.
from one to the other.
All right. Well, we look forward, whatever we can do to help you, let us know. And,
I have pins and business cards to do that.
super. Thank you. All right. Nothing? Okay. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and turn it over to the online folks. Brian Morehouse, would you like to share a little bit about your new journey?
Yes, my name is Brian Morehouse. I'm with S&N Communications, and we're just getting involved more with the UCCs all across each region of North Carolina and looking at increasing our footprint in North Carolina. along with Virginia. So look forward to being able to hopefully get out to the area and be able to network with everyone.
So Brian, could you just share, I mean, what you guys are going to be doing in here? Is it going to be installation work, locating work?
We've got a lot of things right now going on. Right now, I can go ahead and let everyone know, of course, we're doing fiber work. And in Virginia, we do a lot of aerial with Dominion Energy. So as we've seen our work increase in Virginia, of course, we're trying to move on down into the North Carolina regions.
Super. All right, thank you. Court Bennett, anything from you?
No, everything's good. Thank you.
All righty. I know you guys are busy. You're the #1 ticket producer in Wake.
Well, it's kind of funny, but last month we didn't even make the top 10, and this month we're #1. I'm kind of
Busy.
surprised. All righty,
Nice.
thanks.
Thanks. Mr. Proctor.
Yeah, I don't really have anything. Yeah, we just got a lot of projects going on around Raleigh, Apex and Siler City, Sanford. We just got a lot going on. I don't know if Craig, I couldn't hear, but I don't know if Craig mentioned the bus route project we got going on. That's pretty extensive. He may be able to elaborate on that. And I know Kevin's there. We got a lot of stuff going on in North Raleigh. We seem to be really busy in North Raleigh. So, but other than that, just all I can say is we got a bunch of stuff going on.
Well, you guys said there was nothing going on.
I was at bus routes, BRT.
Okay, but you didn't elaborate.
Well, there's three phases to the bus route. In the first route, we got 50 to 60 box sections we have to do.
50 or what?
60 box sections.
Oh, wow.
3 routes.
Okay.
That's just phase 1, so we have 2 more phases not even in the books yet, so it's going to be quite a while for that.
Okay.
We just got a lot of projects, like Don said, like coming to the area. I'm doing a lot of proposals of subdivisions just popping up everywhere. All the old farmland and stuff like that is being turned into subdivisions. So
Okay.
it's nice to come here to have a platform to know that when we need assistance, it'll be available.
Absolutely.
811. But it's a lot.
So for you folks, I don't know if you heard online, I mean, there's a lot, they've got a lot of subdivisions coming. So you'll be planning gas for that, and certainly probably need to communicate and collaborate with other folks in these subdivisions. All right, Fred.
We just obviously have a lot going on, and Cary has a lot of water main replacements throughout downtown area and all. But one of the main things that I wanted to talk about is yesterday there was an incident on McCrimmon Parkway. There is a lot of construction going on with new neighborhoods, new businesses going in, and one contractor going in after another that are going to destroy marks for the other company coming through. I had an incident yesterday where there were signs that there was a new gas main that was being put in. The marks were destroyed in the area from putting that new gas main in, and also destroyed the streetlight marks. Well, I was out there with the contractor that was going to go ahead and put AT&T line in, and I even pointed out that stuff. They continued to do their job without calling in a destroy mark ticket. They went ahead and gouged the brand new gas line and did not put any separation between their new line and the gas line. And they not only did they not call tickets in back for destroy marks, they also never put in a reported damage ticket.
Yeah, that.
I also told them that the company that was putting in the gas main was only 200 yards north of where they were at. They could have talked to them at any time.
Hey, Brad, can you mention the location? I think Dominion's interested in knowing that.
This is on McCrimmon Parkway between Wake Competition and Competition Center Drive.
Does that ring a bell to you guys? Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be that Cary. Do you, what, did the crew, were they able to fix the gouge, you know, or, do we need to follow up on it?
ITS that's put in the gas line has already reached out to me. They're going to have to do repairs in that area. And
Gotcha.
we're trying to
Okay.
even find out if Ansco even had tickets for that, which they had tickets, but by rule, they should have called in destroyed marks and they never did.
Right. Okay.
All right, looks like they're on it, looking. Anything else for you, Fred?
Wish the construction would slow down.
I think we all do in some ways,
But everything else is pretty good.
nice. All right, Mr. Gary, good to have you.
Hey y'all, good afternoon. It's good to see everybody. Hope you all had a good lunch. I'm sitting here at my desk enjoying a peanut butter and jelly. So extra crunchy, of course. But no, I just wanted to share, everyone here at NCDOT really appreciates what everyone in this group does. We know there's a lot of players involved with keeping our the folks working in our right of way and safe, and our utilities and those networks safe. So, appreciate it very much. And we're looking forward to seeing everybody at the conference down in Charleston coming up. I know that's going to be a big time. A couple of points here. You shared in your metrics earlier that there's an uptick in tickets versus this time last year, right? So everything's on the rise. A lot of discussion in this meeting about development going on. Just a reminder that our office here, the utilities unit, is happy to help with permitting, your utility or non-utility items. We're always happy to give guidance, and we can set up one-on-one meetings or group meetings if that works better. Just trying to help everyone understand the process for a quicker permitting process. Also, there was discussion about uptick in fiber tickets. I assume many of those are related to broadband. So one of the initiatives that our office has going on right now is to help make the permitting process more efficient. Well, we want to make it more efficient for all utility permits, but we really are honing in on the broadband. We understand that increased amount of work that will be that needs to be completed here in North Carolina over a certain time frame to meet obligations. So we are trying to we're putting in play some actions to help streamline that permitting process. So more to come on that. I just want to let you know that we're trying to support that. And then last thing I just want to bring up is we recently, with our chief engineer's office, have met with every one of our divisions across the state to look into their forecast for their project schedules, right? So our DOT highway projects. And we are going to be making some changes to schedules, pushing many of them out, right? So what I anticipate this doing is, right now on our active projects, we have instances where not all utilities have been relocated prior to lit, right? So you've got utility companies out there trying to get their existing utilities that are in conflict with the project, out away from conflict. So there's a lot of congestion on projects, a lot of opportunity for hits and strikes. So we're hoping by adjusting these schedules, it's not going to happen right away, but it's hopeful to help soften or help the issue where we can lit a project to a contractor, and either all or the majority of the utilities can be relocated prior to let, which means when the contractor moves in, there's less chance for striking the previous utility that was in conflict. So, like I said, that's not going to be an overnight. That's going to kind of be a trickle down effect. But that's something that we're looking towards. But yeah, thanks for inviting me. It's good to see you all, and have a great afternoon.
Keith, is there any way for us to get our hands on, I guess, information about, and it can be scrubbed, but I mean, where those permits are being issued for that broadband? In other words, we've been having dialogue with the state and everything, and we've given them some information to share with the contractors and their subs. One of the things we want to be able to do is as early in the process as we can to alert those members in those areas where it's coming, to kind of give them the heads up. Is there some way we can work together, maybe offline on that? I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure what's publicly available. Again, without even announcing who's who, just to say this project is coming to you in 3 months or 4 months or 6 months or whatever the case might be.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're still in the process of data collecting ourselves, trying to get the raw data to even, come up with that. But by golly, we're going to figure that out because it's so important on many levels. And, the next quarter look, the quarter after that look, we get down to months and weeks if we need to. But yeah, that is something that would definitely be extremely valuable in y'all's hands. So we can, y'all can try to help with damage prevention and keeping things safe. So let's definitely stay in touch on that, Lewis.
For
But,
sure.
like I said, we're kind of early in the phase, but.
And that's what we heard too, is that the CAB and the BEAD money has been sort of slowed down in terms of the delivery of that to the states, which I think has caused a little bit of a delay. At first we were of the mindset that it was going to be really accelerated, like we had a 2-year window. Now it looks like the brakes have somewhat been, but not that the wave is still coming. It's just it's building up a little bit slower. So hopefully that means that gives us a little bit of extra time. And like you said, our main mission is really we can't do anything about the flow. We can't do anything except let people know, hey, there's a wave coming your way. So be prepared about it. And we're excited that we're working directly with the IT folks, the IT broadband, and that they've taken our PDF to share with everybody about Pipes Plus and attendance of UCCs and potentially white lining and those kinds of things. So yeah, we'll continue to work in concert, and I do appreciate the efforts that you're doing, and looking forward to seeing you in Blowing Rock coming up.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thank you.
Keith is our newest board member representing NCDOT. So we are glad to have him on board. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much. Happy to be part of this group.
Perfect. All right, David Hill.
I have nothing to add. I'm just, for NCDOT, just here to help with anybody has any questions with encroachments or provide any support on the NCDOT side.
Super. Thank you, David. Jackie, anything from you?
No, I don't have anything. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. Lewis, do you have any closing thoughts?
Just greatly appreciate these opportunities. Again, we're going to be working on this law, so we're keeping it limited to just one person per stakeholder group. In the case of excavators, because we have the road builders and the excavators, we have one from each of those. But we're trying to keep a tight team so that we can work together and go through these things. And I highly encourage those of you who have interest in this to reach out to that rep who's supporting you if you've got questions. And I expect that they'll distribute language and pieces of this as it comes out of our meetings. So again, we're looking to meet on the 11th, and that'll be the kickoff meeting. The plan, hopefully, to come out of that with some major bullet points of what we're looking to target. Look at the language itself in the law and what might be tweaked. And there's some low-hanging fruit that I think will be easy, and then there's some other things that I think are going to be more challenging to get everybody on the same page. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on it. So thank you.
Fred, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, just out of curiosity, do you have at least a representative from a locator side on the, those laws?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We have actually Chris Russ, who's our board member as well, was previously our board president, active in government affairs for USIC. He's representing the locators. There will be, I know I've had interest from Stake Center and several others, and again, I've routed them. Trust me, he's got the interest of the locators at heart in what he does. But you can certainly communicate with him directly if you have specific concerns you want to run through him.
All right.
All right. Anybody else have anything they want to add? Well, we appreciate everybody attending today. Just want to remind you, of course, April Safe Digging Month is right around the corner. If you're going to be doing events through April, please share that with us. We'd love to place that out on our social media, just kind of highlight you all. If you may have received an email for tailgate wraps, we have already secured all the 26 out there for the state. And, but if we have someone that is absolutely got to have one, we'll try to work it out because we know that is a rolling billboard. So please, reach out to me and we'll see what we can do to help you on that. So we look forward to a busy month. Just a reminder, dig safe. Please let us know if we can help you. Everyone online, thank you. Appreciate you being with us today. And we look forward to seeing you next month. All right. With that,
Thank you.
we will close out the meeting. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.